Welcome to the Our League app. We're in your pocket once again. Join this week for the League One Game of the Week. This man, Andrew Henderson. Leon Price is on daddy duty, so I've got you today, Hendo. How was your weekend, your Magic weekend? Good result.
Yeah, good weekend. Loved it, really enjoyed it. Like I said, Saturday was a great night for us. Obviously had a good result there against a very determined Wigan side, I should say. I love the whole concept of Magic Weekend. Like I said, it was a really good weekend had by all, and I'm sure all the fans there enjoyed the occasion. But our focus now turns to League One, the Betfred Championship League One. So let's talk about it.
League One this weekend, some fantastic games on show. Coventry, we'll start with Coventry Bears.
Yep.
Coventry 18 versus North Wales Crusaders 34. Disappointing result for Coventry.
I think so. I think, if we look at the last couple of weeks for Coventry, they've had some pretty good results in recent weeks and some good performances in recent weeks. And I think at home, I think that was a game that they probably thought, do you know what, this is a winnable game for us. This is we're building something in these last couple of weeks. And I
There's
think
an expectation there now.
I wouldn't say there'd been potentially you could argue an expectation, but I just think from within their own camp, I just feel they've competed pretty well this season. They've made massive strides moving forward, both on and off the field as a club. And I just think in recent weeks, the performances they've been delivering have been really, really good. And I just feel that they will be really disappointed as a team that they didn't get the job done at home in front of their fans against a side in North Wales Crusaders who've had a fairly indifferent season, should we say. Haven't been really getting the results that they were hoping for. So I think Coventry would have seen that as a winnable game. But, fair play to the North Wales Crusaders because, like I said, they've been desperate for a result in recent weeks, and they've gone down to play a side that's in decent form and got the job done. So, fantastic. It was close at half time, 12 points to 6, but obviously the Crusaders just took control of that second half and a great result for them.
Doncaster 54, West Wales Raiders 0.
Same old story, innit?
Tough carry.
Yeah,
tough carry, that one.
Well, my old teammate Menzi Yeri, who's come out of retirement, I can't believe he's still playing at about 45 years of age. His passport says he's about 35, but look, unbelievable. He's come out of retirement. He was very, very instrumental for the Dons.
Two tries.
Two tries. And he's it's great to see. He's still got it. Hey, the former Papua New Guinean international still has something to offer, obviously, in this competition, which is great. And he's a fantastic character as Menzi, and he's one of those fans' favourites. He's great with the fans, good with the people. It's good for the game, and like I said, obviously he was very instrumental on the weekend for the Dons. And like I said, a comprehensive victory for them. West Wales, again, they're scratching their heads trying to somehow come up with a performance and get a result, which again we're struggling to see if they're going to get that, aren't we?
Keighley 12, Oldham 52.
Yep.
What happened at Keighley? Craig Lingard doing a fantastic job under some extreme pressure, and he's not at the club anymore. What?
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. When I saw it announced this week, I'll be honest with you, I was quite shocked. I don't know what's gone on. I don't know whether something's happened off the field that we're unaware of, or something's happened. He's had a falling out with somebody within the club. It just seems very strange because we know the trials and tribulations that Craig's had to face and the challenges he had to face within that club over the last sort of probably 6 to 12 months, and coming into this season with a minus 12 points deduction for the club going into administration.
Keeping the boys going.
Mate, he's kept that.
And recruiting well.
Mate, absolutely. He's kept that alive. He's kept that, and he's had, he's brought in some good support staff as well, and like I said, built a decent squad. And to be fair, had they not had the 12-point deduction, they'd be sitting third in the competition. So they had a bit of a blip the last couple of weeks, but every team has a blip through the season. It's very, very hard to be performing at that level week in, week out for the whole season, and it's a real competitive league as we've seen this season. And so it's been a few surprise teams as well throughout this season. So I just think in reflection of their form, I think they've been in really good form. Keighley probably gone a little bit under the radar because of the points deduction, but to say if that decision has been made off the back of a couple of recent results, then I think that's a poor decision. If it's to do with something internally, then maybe it may have been the right decision because we don't know the full ins and outs. But if it's based on performance recently, then that's a really poor decision because it certainly hasn't had the desired effect, has it? Because to go then at home against Oldham and get pumped 52 points to 12 is pretty embarrassing for Keighley, and that's probably their worst defeat of the season for me. I don't think they've been beaten by that all season, Keighley. So I don't know what's going on there. There's certainly some questions to be asked.
And the main man, Danny Langtree, looks like he can't put a foot wrong since going back to Oldham. Another
he's been impressive.
Commanding performance.
Yeah, he's been impressive. I think we spoke about him a couple of weeks ago. You know, since he's come from Hull FC, he's obviously come back into this competition. I think having the experience of being in the Super League, albeit he didn't get the feature, but that full-time training's probably benefited him as well. And he's always been a quality player at this kind of level anyway, hence why Hull gave him an opportunity. But so look, he's been in good form for Oldham and certainly helped their endeavours moving up the table. I think they now go joint third with Hunslet, which is good for them.
Top of the table clash, Whitehaven 32, London 6. I'm getting hammered from Whitehaven fans saying, good morning, Alex Simmons, and posting the league up on Sunday morning.
Yep.
Fair play to you guys, top of the league, going very well. Carl Forster, Dion Air doing great jobs up there.
Yeah, and Coach Gary Charlton's doing a good job too, isn't he? So, I mean, look, it's a fantastic season so far for Whitehaven, and obviously they're in their endeavour to get back to the championship. We know they've spent a long time in the championship and they've now been down in League One for a couple of seasons, but they're looking pretty good at the moment. They've just been quietly going about their business. I think they brought Carl Forster back in, as you just mentioned there, the former Rochdale player coach. Obviously he lost his job recently and he's now managed to pick up a playing contract back up there in Whitehaven, and I believe had a bit of a barnstorming performance for them. And it's funny how sometimes as a player you feel an attachment or affinity with a certain club, and as a player you can sort of, I know, just perform better than maybe what you were previously. And fair play to Carl. You know, he's took that decision on the chin at Rochdale's, gone out to Whitehaven and delivered a really good performance up there for them. But I think Dion Air was quite instrumental, the Papua New Guinean, in a lot of the good work that Whitehaven produced on the weekend. Scored a couple of tries himself, had a hand in a few other good things that they did. So, but they're doing well at the moment, Whitehaven. And London Scholars, as we know, have been performing really well this season. Have been a bit of a surprise package. I think they'll be disappointed in the manner that they've lost there on the weekend. I think they would have gone there with high hopes and expectation that they could not only compete but probably beat Whitehaven. So I'm sure Jermaine Coleman and his team will be disappointed that they didn't come away with the spoils.
And now for our game of the week, we go to Kingston Park as the Newcastle Thunder take on Hunslet.
We're at Kingston Park for Newcastle versus Hunslet here, and Jack Lee's at dummy half for Hunslet on the attack. Out to his left towards Reece Dean, who plays it back to Kane Southernwood. Out to James Woodburn Hall, the Halifax low knee. Big pass out wide to James Saltonstall, who eases over in the corner, and it's an excellent start for Hunslet. They're on the attack again here. Jack Lee reverse pass inside to Reece Dean. It's Woodburn Hall again. Woodburn Hall again has cut through the defence and crosses in the corner. Excellent work try there for Hunslet. Reece Dean dummy half into Dwayne Straffer, takes it into contact. It's a good defence there from Newcastle. Villa Halahithi is there at dummy half. Inside to Reece Dean, on to Kane Southernwood. James Woodburn Hall out to James Saltonstall. And it's the third try of the game for Hunslet. Excellent start for them. Into the second half here, and Villa Halahithi is at half back. He's out to Kane Southernwood. Short pass to Josh Chonks. Shorter pass to Nathan Chappell, who crashes over. It's a fourth try without reply for the visitors. Newcastle on the attack there. Liam McAvoy tackle Keil Carlisle at dummy half onto debutant Joel Edwards. Makes its way out to the left. Kieran Gill with a quick pass to Missy Taulapapa. Cuts inside, excellently evades a tackle. Kieran Gill dives to the corner like a salmon, and there he is. Newcastle are on the board. Keil Carlisle on the attack here for Newcastle. Joel Edwards out the back to Dan Coates. Dan Coates plays a short pass to Alex Clegg, who crashes over. Newcastle back in the game. Hunslet on the attack here, Jack Lee. Inside to Mike Emmett. Kane Southernwood, now to Nathan Chappell. And out it goes to James Saltonstall. And he gets his second try in the corner there. Excellent game for the Halifax low knee here. Newcastle now on the attack, looking to get out their own half. Carlisle to Simons. Coates plays it inside there to Connor Fitzsimmons. Looked like he was tackled, but the ref says no. Evan Simons then takes it forward. Jared Blank is hit there, stopped about 35 yards out there. He plays the ball to Keil Carlisle, and it's Dan Coates with a kick. It's a kick, he's been chased down by two. Lewis Young pokes it through with his foot, and the Newcastle fullback grounds under the sticks. Hunslet on the attack here, and it's a Reece Dean kick that's caught somebody. Jack Lee's picked it up, and he passed it outside there to Gareth Potts. Gareth Potts crosses over. And that's the game for Hunslet.
18 points to 32. That's a disappointing result for Newcastle, although Hunslet are a quality side.
Well, it's a real morale-boosting victory, that one for Hunslet, isn't it? Because they've had a little bit of a blip in recent weeks as well, haven't they? They've sort of had such a great start to this League One campaign, really flew out the blocks, and they were getting a lot of hype and a lot of people talking about them because I don't think everybody expected Hunslet to be flying so high as they were. And then they've just dropped off this last couple of weeks. So that's not only a morale-boosting, but a really important victory for them too. So it keeps them level on points now with Oldham. So they're sitting joint third. They're still in that mixer for the top two as well. So a really important win for them, and a disappointing result for Newcastle because they've had some really good results in recent weeks. They've had the measure of Keighley in the last couple of performances against them at home. So I think Simon Finnegan would have expected a better performance from his team at home. And unfortunately, like you said, Hunslet have gone up there with a plan that stifled the Thunder. And to be fair, I think Hunslet was a pretty comprehensive win in the end for them. I think they were in control for large parts of that game, and I don't think Newcastle had too much of a say.
James Saltonstall doing a great job as well on the day. A couple of tries.
Yeah, he was, and James Woodbourne Hall as well.
Yep.
So a couple of players there from Halifax. I think it's either a loan or dual reg agreement that they've got there. Obviously added some value to the Hunslet team and probably gave them some fresh energy too, which sometimes you need as a team at this sort of point of the season, midway through. It's, as you know, it's a bit of a marathon of a season, isn't it? And sometimes just a couple of fresh faces just give you that, just re-energise the team and just give it a little bit of a spark. And obviously those two players from Halifax have done that for them.
There's no league fixtures this weekend as we go into round 2 of the 1895 Cup. 4 League One teams still in with a chance to get into Wembley. Workington go away to Leigh Centurions. That's going to be a tough day at the office for Chris Thorman.
I think so. I think if they were at home, I think they'd have had a better chance of this one. But Leigh have been in pretty decent form in the championship. I think just the Centurions, when you look at the balance of their squad, it's pretty strong across the park. And I just feel that I think they'll have the measure of the Workington boys. Also, too, Workington will have to travel down from Cumbria on the day as well. And they're going to be facing a pretty stern opponent in the Leigh Centurions. So I think, unfortunately for Workington, I just don't see them progressing in the next round.
There's an all-League One clash, though. Oldham
so we know there's definitely one club
Doncaster.
going through.
Definitely one League One club going through. Oldham versus Doncaster.
That's going to be a good game.
On Oldham.
That's going to be a good game. I think if you're looking at the current form in the Betfred League One, I think you'd say that Oldham should get the spoils here at home. But in saying that, Doncaster got some quality. Jason Tarley, Menzies Erie, some real strike players out there on the edge.
Soon to be Rangi Chase.
Kyle Keswick, at 9, and then the introduction of Rangi Chase as well coming in. I think, it could give them a lift as well. So there's certainly going to be no shortage of talent on display. But Oldham, as we know, a very workmanlike, dogged team, and I'm sure Scott Naylor will have his team fired up to get a result to get to round 3. So I'm tipping an Oldham win. Last
but not least, York City Knights had a fantastic win last week. Welcome Newcastle Thunder to Bootham Crescent. It's going to be a fantastic game. Maybe the highlight game of the round.
Yeah, it is. I'm actually really excited about this one. I'm actually going to go for a bit of an upset here. I'm going to tip Newcastle.
Wow.
I'm just going to. York have been in absolute outstanding form this year in the championship. They've done a great job. I just got a sneaky suspicion that they're going to take the eye off the ball on this one, and I just think Newcastle are going to go there with a point to prove, especially off the disappointing loss that they've received on the weekend. And I think they're going to spring a surprise. It's going to be a real close game, but I think they're going to nick it.
You've heard the man. He's given his predictions. We'll see you back next week in the Our League app for more League One action. Right now, over to Hendo and Eloise for the Championship wrap.